What it is, everybody. Welcome to the show. Big day. Big day. Big day. This is not an April Fool's joke or prank, but it probably will be confusing to some people who tune in for this live stream with live right on the thumbnail because I'm not carrying Donald Trump's speech live because that happens in 3 hours exactly from now. But it's happening today, and we already know what he's going to say, allegedly. So we're just doing our regular show at the regular time now. We're going to tell you what he's going to say, and you don't even have to bother to tune in, most likely. I have covered his speeches many times live, and every time I've done it lately, I regret it. Well, the State of the Union was fine. The State of the Union was fine. But otherwise, his rallies have gone to total crap. And this speech tonight, although we will not be covering his speech live today or right now, especially because it's not scheduled for right now, we may cover live us going to the moon, supposedly, for the first time. So if it's really happening this time, then it would be quite an accomplishment, knowing that it never happened before. It would be our first time ever out of low Earth orbit, ever. Even an astronaut said that we never left low Earth orbit after we'd allegedly been to the moon. So I could cover that live. That's happening right now. That could happen during my show, I believe, in maybe 15 minutes or so. I won't be covering the speech live because I'm going to be working instead. It's only 20 minutes, and we know what he's going to say already. It's already been leaked, pretty much. If he says something different or shocking, I will apologize tomorrow. I'll apologize tomorrow for doing my regular job instead of streaming the speech. If he actually says something amazing, like that we're going to send ground troops in. I mean, that's what some people are predicting, right? Because he's making a speech. And it's a big day because two other world leaders made speeches today to their peoples. They were pre-recorded. This one should be live. It's going to be interrupting some major reality TV shows, and it will be carried on all the networks. Some 2-hour special of Survivor is being preempted. Some 2-hour special of some other reality show is going to be preempted. Birdman says the ultimate April Fool's Day prank is going to the moon. You think we're really going this time? I wonder. We've never gone through those. What are they called? The bands, the radiation band. We've never actually done that. Supposedly, it's really dangerous. So I wonder if this time we're actually prepared to do it. Very interesting. It'd be interesting if we got real pictures of the moon and stuff instead of a movie set directed by the guy who made The Shining. Okay. I'm so bad with memory sometimes. Jewel Lightheart, what are you in Australia? I have your world leader. Jewel Lightheart, are you in Australia? Your world leader spoke today about catastrophe. Many world leaders are very concerned. We have it good so far in America compared to everybody else. Everybody else is preparing for catastrophe in the rest of the world. So the UK, the leader of the United Kingdom, Starmer, spoke today. And Kubrick, thank you, Jersey, of course. I knew that, of course, like every name I always know. And then it is the Van Allen radiation belt. That's right. The Van Allen radiation belt, which not only did we pass astronauts through, but we passed the film that we supposedly shot on the moon. Oh my God. What a stupid story that was. We still, I wonder, No, we'll never admit it, I guess. I wonder if any other country will come out and say it, though. I'm sure the Russians know and the Chinese know that we never went because it was impossible. Like we couldn't possibly have developed the technology. Even Elon Musk has said that it's incredibly difficult to go to the moon, and it's the first case in human history where technology actually got worse afterwards because we weren't able to replicate the technology, where we didn't even have computers, where it had like the computer skills of like a worse than like a calculator. And now we're finally going back, supposedly. But Elon Musk said it's really hard. I think Elon Musk said you have to refill. He would have to refill the rocket on the way there or something. I don't know. But it's incredibly difficult. So we can cover it. You want to check in on it? We'll check in on it. Okay. If you guys want to see it. Going to cover the rest of the news. Going to cover what those world leaders said. There's an April Fool's prank from Iran. It's not very funny. It's not that good, though, compared to their other propaganda videos. It's probably not made by the same guy. We have the market pumping news for today. And the stock market was up and oil was actually down a little bit today. The price of WTI crude is under $100, believe it or not. The Strait of Hormuz is either not a big deal. We're really, really getting mixed messages on the Strait of Hormuz. It's either not our problem or it's really important that they open it. It's like one or the other. Either it's not our problem and we don't even care and everybody else can handle it, or we really need it open really bad. And if we don't get it open, you watch out, you better, or you're really going to get it. You think you've gotten it already. It's going to be something you've never seen. Like, wow, Stone Age. That's what we're threatening. So that's where we're at in the story of Iran. Things are calm. The stock market went up today. Oil went down. Everything's cool. We haven't run out of gas here locally, although our Australian might know that they're running out of fuel there. Many emergencies, many different countries. We have some video. I have some video of strikes on U.S. bases, one unconfirmed, one confirmed. I have some what Trump's talking about. It might be a little bit shorter show. I might even take calls if enough people tune in. I realize I haven't taken calls in a long time. So, yeah, just got to get you up to date with the news, play what Trump's been saying, play what these other world leaders have been saying, preview his speech. I'll tell you what he's going to say. Okay, don't worry about that. We'll tell you what he's going to say. This sounds, John Barry's got it, I think, approximately. Trump will say, we won. The enemy is obliterated. Also, Trump, NATO, please send help. It's something like that. Actually, you're very close. Kind of says whatever Trump's saying is a lie. Cygirl says Artemis is fake as F. You think it's gonna be fake? Well, like, what do you mean fake? How fake? The rocket launch. When we launched the Challenger, when the Challenger disaster, we can hope for that. Like, keep our fingers crossed that the rocket explodes and everybody dies, or allegedly, But with the Challenger thing, the space shuttle was fake. The space shuttle was just it wasn't fake, but it never went to space or anything. It was just kind of imagine. And then when they landed it, actually was supposed to be a glider, but it had aircraft engines inside of it that you could hear when it came in for a landing. So it was some kind of weird modified thing. It wasn't supposed to have aircraft engines, and you could hear it when it came in for a landing. The one time it came, when it comes in, it's supposed to be a glider with a rocket on the back. But the rocket runs out and then it does re-entry and then it glides in, supposedly the Challenger thing, and then or the space shuttle. Then the space shuttle disaster. What happened was it was really on a rocket and it really blew up. I think. I mean, this is as far as I can tell. It was really on a rocket. It really blew up. It's just that the astronauts weren't in there. And then they had to pretend they all died and like make a big deal out of it. And like they all lived. That's all. And there's proof that they all went on living their lives, mostly with the same name and the same profession and stuff, or as a twin or what have you. It's pretty well documented. Wouldn't be able to carry it off these days, but I guess back in the day, people didn't have access to information. It wasn't the same. So the female just went back to like teaching. I don't know if it was at the same school or a different school under the same name and everything. Judith, something or other. So yeah, the Challenger thing, I think it was really on a rocket and it really blew up. I believe that. It's just that there were no people on board. That's all. So they had to pretend they all died and we had to pretend to mourn them and stuff. But then they continued living their lives as a doppelganger or what have you. So yeah, that's what happened. And yeah, we never went to the moon. Obviously, I mean, that's 100% of a fact, which most people, a lot of people know nowadays. It's weird. Like Joe Rogan doesn't talk about it. Elon Musk doesn't say it. I think Elon Musk kind of knows. I don't know. I know we couldn't have done it then. I don't know if we can do it now. I don't know if it's possible. Just like Orwell says, or Birdman says in the chat. You can't land on the moon. It's physically impossible. That may be the case. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. We certainly couldn't do it back then. I have no idea if we can do it now. I don't know if gravity works the way they think it does on the moon and stuff. So hard to say. So anyway, we can check in on that. Let's see. Let's check in on it. NASA. Artemis, NASA live. Let's see. NASA Artemis II live. That's on CNBC. Let's tune into actual NASA. Here's actual NASA. It's not live yet. Official broadcast. Artemis II. Countdown on. Oops. I wonder if people are in the chat.
On the affected LCC, please. Yes, ma'am. That's going to be O-CT.
Some people. I was curious how many people are trolling the chat. Some people are trolling with 6-7, of course. Murad says April Fool's not going to space. It's not SpaceX. People are claiming it's an April Fool's joke. It is April 1st. I didn't see any good April Fool's jokes, except that the government put out a good April Fool's joke that we were going to rename the raccoon. One, like the Department of Naming Animals or something, said we're going to rename the raccoon to the Liberty Bandit. I thought that was like that was a reasonable one. All right, so we're gonna. I'll stay tuned into this. I'll leave the volume on in my ears, which will only annoy me and not you. Why is this on the screen? There you go. It's gone. Okay. I'll stay tuned into it. All right. You guys ready for the news? Let's go through it. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. If you want to give super chats, you can. We're monetized, etc. Oh, I got to monetize the video. Let's see. I'll do that while we're in the intro. And cue musical. Okay. Cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman, and I bring you the news, the real news. Oops. Hold on, I'm going to show you.
President Donald Trump.
Hey, Trump, we opened the Hormuz Strait.
Bibi, they opened the Hormuz Strait. Has been Hormuz Strait.
Hey, Trump, I'm kidding. April Fools.
What? April Fools? Bibi, he is kidding. April Fools. Get
That was really bad AI. So like I said, I don't think it's the same people that do the Lego videos. That was really bad AI, but that was their April Fool's joke. They opened Hormuz. Okay, so let's give the market moving news today. The pumping the stock market news, which has been going on for the last 2 days. Huge pump. I mean, really, almost like 4 or 5% the last 2 days. So it's been successful. The campaign started with with the Wall Street Journal reporting that Trump had been telling aides that he was willing to leave without the Hormuz Strait being opened. And that caused people to celebrate and even the price of oil to go down, paradoxically, because if the Hormuz Strait stays closed after we're gone, then that's bad, actually. The certain catastrophe, according to most financial experts. So anyway, that's what happened. Stock market went up a bunch. And then they put out a fake quote yesterday from the head of the parliament, I believe, that said, what did it say? Oh, they're willing to do a ceasefire as long as certain conditions were met, as long as certain agreements could be made. That made the market go even more. People are exuberant. Today it continued. Price of oil went down a little bit. Today, here's what Trump tweeted this morning. Iran's new regime president. So much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors, has just asked the United States of America for a ceasefire. We will consider when the Hormuz Strait is open, free, and clear. Until then, we are blasting Iran into oblivion, or as they say, back to the Stone Ages. President Don DJT. And a few different multiple things wrong with us is the president is the same. He's not new. And he has no power. And we always knew that. If it's the biggest problem is it's not true at all, right? It's not true at all. As far as we can tell, and as far as Iran says, and as far as there are no reports that there are actual in-person negotiations happening anywhere. There are no reports confirmed that there are actual phone calls happening between anyone directly, or I don't even think there are confirmed reports of even text messages or anything happening between anyone and anyone in America and Iran. As far as I know, there's nothing actually confirmed in the news, even the fake news, because the fake news pumps this stuff too. There's a guy at Axios that pumps this fake news. No one is communicating directly with anyone, as far as anyone knows, and Iran totally denies it. Okay, Iran totally denies it. So there are communications that people claim through mediators in Pakistan. So there are mediators that are getting messages from us, delivering it to the Iranians. And if the Iranians have messages back, the Iranians can talk to the mediators, and the mediators give it back to us. That's all that's happening. That's confirmed at all. And that's what I believe is happening is we keep asking the mediators, we keep asking for a ceasefire because it's hilarious, actually. We keep asking for a ceasefire, and then making demands for a ceasefire. We've been doing it for a long time, since like the very beginning of the conflict. We've been looking for a way to leave and somehow claim victory. So we are asking for a ceasefire through mediators. And Iran is saying, fuck you, every time. We're making threats, and Iran doesn't care. So we're asking for a ceasefire. Iran completely denies any negotiations have taken place at all. Iran completely denies in every official statement, in every official capacity, that any negotiations have taken place at all. They say they don't trust us. We've bombed them twice in the middle of negotiations. So why on earth would they negotiate with us? They perhaps have given their demands for a complete cessation of conflict. They don't want a ceasefire because they know they're going to get bombed again later. So they're just ready to finish the whole thing now. So anyway, lies. Iran's new regime president, he's not a new regime president. He's been president since 2024. He's not in charge at all. Anything that he would say would be meaningless if he actually said it. But even he put out a statement today. So, and in as much as they are willing to stop the conflict, they are willing to stop the conflict, but they demand certain concessions, which we're not willing to accept. And will never be willing to accept, as far as I can tell. I have no idea what it would take for us to be willing to accept what they want. They want to control the strait. They want promises in writing and international agreements that they'll never be bombed again. Trump's already talking about bombing them again every once in a while. That's the only way to stop the nuclear program. And anyway, he's once again cares about the Hormuz Strait. So that's what he said. He's going to bomb them into the Stone Age. The threats haven't worked so far. This is the reporting on it that backs it up. So there's a reporter at Axios who's kind of like sketchy. This guy, Barak Ravid, who's always claiming to have talked to officials and always giving sketchy messages. This guy at Axios said 3 U.S. officials told me discussions are taking place about a possible ceasefire with Iran in return for the reopening of the Hormuz Strait. So our demands were not that before. Trump supposedly didn't care about the Hormuz Strait, but now we care again about the Hormuz Strait, apparently. Trump claimed Iran asked U.S. for a ceasefire. So what I think is happening, because there's another report that J.D. Vance delivered a stern message that Trump is impatient and warned of escalating pressure on Iranian infrastructure unless Tehran agrees to a deal. He also indicated openness to a ceasefire via Pakistani intermediaries if U.S. demands, including the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, are met. So there you go. That makes more sense. That's from Reuters. So we've proposed a ceasefire. We're asking for a ceasefire. But it's kind of stupid because because we already said we're leaving soon anyway. So why would Iran want or ask for a ceasefire if they know that we have to leave soon anyway, and we're already planning to leave? And also we're willing to leave with them fully in control of the strait and possibly still lobbing missiles at Israel and our Gulf allies. So there's no reason that I can think of besides threats to their infrastructure that they would have to want a ceasefire. They just have to wait, basically. So it's kind of ridiculous. And again, we are demanding that they open the strait. It could be dawning. I imagine it might be dawning on Donald Trump that he can't leave with the Strait of Hormuz closed and claim victory. I'm kind of guessing that that's where things might be at right now, is that Trump realizes that if he leaves and the Strait of Hormuz is still closed and he tries to claim victory and gas prices continue going to the moon with no reason to go down, then he'll realize that his claim of victory isn't really going to stick. I'm kind of guessing. It's not one of the objectives. It's not one of our stated objectives to open the Strait of Hormuz. But I'm guessing that's where he's at. So I don't know if we're going to be able to leave. He's saying 2-3 weeks. Tonight, in his speech tonight, what's been leaked, or what journalists have been able to figure out, in his speech tonight, he's going to say, we're winning. We won. We've done this, this, and that. He's, Navy, Air Force, missiles, and he's going to say, we're going to be done in 2 or 3 weeks. And he's going to say really mean things about NATO. So that's the kick he's on today. He's threatening NATO because nobody wants to come help open the strait. Nobody wants to be involved in this war in any way. Many of the NATO countries are refusing us to be able to use their bases, fly over their airspace, like Spain isn't letting us fly over their airspace. Italy isn't letting our planes land at our bases there. Poland won't give us Patriot launchers that we're asking for. So a bunch of NATO allies, they have just no interest in this war. It's extremely dangerous to try to take the Strait of Hormuz by force. So no one's willing to do it. That's why we're not doing it. So anyway, so that's what's going on. I don't know where things stand. There are plans drawn up by the military to put in ground forces. There are specific plans, and I think we're shipping people in specifically so that we have the optionality to put boots on the ground to extract the uranium, which is incredibly difficult, the enriched uranium, which is buried under tons of rubble, and to perhaps take one of the islands. Those specific plans is widely reported that those specific plans have been drawn up by the military. They've been presented to Donald Trump, and all they need is his go ahead for those plans to go forward. I think he doesn't want to do it. Is trying threats and said they're escalating their bombing campaign. But it's entirely possible, I guess, that we could go through with some kind of boots on the ground. We're preparing for that. The military seems to be preparing. There was a report that all of our reservists were training on like Apache helicopters and Warthogs, which would be the kind of thing that would support ground forces. So all signs point to the fact that we're preparing to put boots on the ground. And Trump, typically what people say is that Trump doesn't do things that he doesn't follow through with. Like he doesn't send in soldiers and not use them typically. Like when we sent all the ships to Venezuela, it was because we were going to do something and we did something. So a lot of people are saying that we are going to go in. I think it's just, I don't think he wants to deal with the fallout from it. It extends the war, which he doesn't want to do. So, but we are preserving that optionality. We're shipping in, we're sending in a whole carrier group from America, which will take at least 3 weeks to get there. So we're preparing as if we're willing to be there a lot longer than 2 or 3 weeks. Now we're willing to send troops in, but I don't know. It's all up to Trump, I guess. So the White House, the objectives definitely keep changing. I pay close attention. The objectives definitely keep changing. It's not, oh, the launch is about to happen. 3 minutes. You guys want to watch? Okay, we can watch. You ready? The launch is about to happen. Interrupted news. Hopefully it blows up, right? I mean, hopefully it blows up. There aren't astronauts on board. Astronauts.
Moving through the
If there are
milestones.
people on board, I hope it doesn't blow up. We don't
All's
want
looking
people to
good.
die. That's bad. If they faked putting people on board, then it'd be cool
Coming
if
up
it blows up,
in just a
just
few
like the
seconds, we're gonna
Challenger
get that
did.
Thrust vector control actuator
I mean,
test.
so that we have
This is
something
the
entertaining
gimbling
to
of
watch.
the engines.
Do you want the chat up or should I take the chat down?
There are the 4 RS-25s, 3 of them shuttle heritage, 1 of them built from shuttle parts. And there you see.
I'm just looking for people trolling NASA. Two minutes and 16 seconds to launch.
The power from both the upper stage and
I don't see how this can be as impressive as a SpaceX launch. This is not a SpaceX rocket. This is supposedly a NASA rocket. Artemis.
GLS's go for upper stage internal power.
All right, power is removed from the rocket's upper stage, the ICPS, and it's been switched to battery. Same milestone for the lower core stage coming up at T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds.
1 minute.
Right now, the
1 minute and 42 seconds.
Is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
933. I wonder what that number means. They got a nice 33 in the shot, though.
Core stage to internal power.
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power.
Wonder how many people are tuned in.
There's no more
Should I
hold
check?
time because there's no more margin on these batteries.
2,500,000 people. That's bigger than a Candace Owens live stream. You ready?
1 minute.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer, or ALS.
At T-minus 33 seconds. That's funny.
Any holds that could come from the ground.
It's funny.
Shortly after
Why?
liftoff, Houston
Why
will
not at
take control
T30?
of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS's go for
Okay, it's about to go. 30
Great call
seconds.
out. The rocket is on its own. 4 brave explorers.
4
ready to
brave
ride the most
explorers.
powerful rocket NASA has ever launched. Sound suppression water is flowing.
15.
And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7. RS-25 engines lit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition. And liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now bound for the moon. Humanity's next great voyage begins.
Good roll pitch. Roger, roll pitch.
So far, so good.
Houston now controlling the flight of Integrity on the Artemis II mission around the moon.
Yeah, they should have a camera inside the cockpit so we can see the astronauts. I agree.
On time, passing 30 seconds into the flights. Integrity passes the ultimate beacon. Target milestone. Mission Control Houston seeing good performance on the coordinate engines. Space Launch System.
They should have cameras on it in outer space, like Elon Musk does.
Traveling more than 1,200 miles per hour.
But they probably don't. Rockets never go straight up. They always end up going sideways.
Mission elapsed time, passing 1 minute, approaching max Q.
On, Ponce de Leon. Stan, we have you loud and clear on Ponce de Leon. Have you the same?
Oh, that's a lot of
Communication
fire.
Signal transfer confirmed as Integrity and its crew go supersonic. Approaching 90 seconds into the Artemis II mission. Integrity is 14 miles in altitude, 8 miles downrange, traveling more than 2,600 miles per hour.
That's fast. Boom. No, just kidding. That'd be fucked up.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time. Standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%. Ahead of solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2 minute 9
I see
second
people
mark.
asking how much this costs us.
We see throttle down.
Nerds.
Confirmed separation.
Weather looks nice.
Main engine's throttling up. Guidance converged.
So it just dropped engines. It's pretty small now. They should have a camera on it like Elon does. Oh, there they go.
Guidance converged.
Nice.
Performance
Earth.
nominal. Upper
See a
stage
curvature or
RTM
not?
Ready.
I don't really.
Integrity. SM priming complete.
SM priming complete.
2 minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on integrity and upper stage confirmed in a ready state ahead of service module fairing separation. Three minutes into the flight. Integrity 49 miles in altitude, 78 miles downrange.
There we
Now
go.
passing
Flat?
5,000 miles per hour.
Looks like a little curve. What do you think? Fisheye? Looks real. Looks kind of real. I mean, it might be real this time. Be pretty amazing if it is.
Standing by for launch abort system jettison.
Houston integrity. Good last jettison. Great view.
Copy jettison. Team Eco 8+02.
We see you
Nerds.
stay on board, Stan.
No, I went to see
And Houston has you loud and clear.
Elon's
Peters at the
rocket
common
launch. It was
line.
pretty amazing because I'm near Vandenberg Air Force Base, where
Outstanding,
a
Stan.
bunch of
We have
where
you.
SpaceX has a base. It's called Space Force
3
Base. Did
minutes
I say
50
that?
seconds
Used to
into
be called
flight
Air
of
Force
Artemis
Base.
II.
Now it's called
Wiseman,
Space
Glover,
Force Base,
Cook,
I
and
think.
Hansen crossed the boundary to space with good comm checks. GPS signals acquired.
It was
after
pretty
last
cool. I
jettison,
saw it
now
land
working
and
on
everything.
internal checks
I
to
was really
verify
skeptical
accuracy.
about Elon's rockets. I didn't think they
Flight
could
dynamics
actually
officer
land. I thought he
analyzed
was
the time
faking.
of main engine cutoff confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds. Time of MECO.
I was convinced. But then I saw it land. I was like, wow, that's cool. That looks real to me. Pretty convincing. Very peaceful. You can still see it. So is it in space or? It looks like it's in space, but you can still see it from Earth and the blue sky.
Integrity. GPS processing.
Outstanding, Stan. We see
Suzette
we
says,
have a beautiful
fake.
moonrise. We're headed right at it.
Oh, no, it looks real. There's glitches and everything. Oh, yeah. I'm going to say this one might be real.
Approaching 5 minutes into the flight, Commander.
Well, let's see the
Wiseman
pictures of the
confirms
moon
he has visuals of his destination.
when they get there.
GPS guidance, navigation, and control software finishes internal checks and sends to navigation channels.
Integrity. 3 engine press.
3 engine press.
Weirdos.
On time now, passing 5 minutes 20
I keep
seconds.
watching.
Mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. At this point, 3 good main engines are all that's needed to carry integrity to a nominal main engine cutoff target. Though at this time, we're seeing 4 good engines here in Mission Control Houston. Integrity, 75 miles in altitude, 330 miles downrange, approaching 10,000 miles per hour.
That's fast. That's really fast. Oops. I have more news about aliens today from Australia, I think, or New Zealand.
Integrity. Looking good at 6 minutes.
All right. I'm almost bored. So don't know if I'm
Stay
going
on
to keep
board,
watching
Stan.
much longer.
Good trajectory
What
and
is-
engine performance.
No, that's not real. That's
Booster
fake,
officer will
obviously.
soon report the shutdown plan to Flight Director Judd Friedling, expected at the 7-minute mark. Integrity, 78 miles in altitude, 460 miles downrange.
Integrity. Expect nominal shutdown.
Integrity copies nominal.
So
Shutdown.
they'll shut down the engines.
6 minutes 40 seconds of mission elapsed time. Shutdown plan is as expected. Again, the time of MECO was confirmed at 8 minutes 2 seconds into the flight.
Wonder if they orbit the Earth a few times and then go to the moon. I think that's what they did supposedly the first time.
Seven minutes of mission elapsed time. Throttling down as we approach the abort once around option. Milestone at the 7-minute 30-second mark.
So they might be able to abort still.
Now 84 miles in altitude, 650 miles downrange, traveling more than 15,000 miles per hour.
Wow, it's really fast. 15,000.
AOA open. AOA open.
We'll follow it just to make sure it doesn't blow up.
The window is now open for an abort once around option that would target splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Still following nominal ascent at this time. About 10 seconds remaining until the main engine cutoff of the Space Launch System core stage. Standing by for confirmation of MECO and core stage separation.
This should be cool. Some big rocket's going to fall off that. Then it's just going to be the capsule. Then what do? They don't have to use fire anymore, right? Like you can't even use fire in space, right? Or maybe you can. You just eject gas, right?
And nominal MECO core stage separated.
Show the diagram. Show it on the animation, please.
On board, Stan.
Show the animation. Here we go. Come on. This is really lame graphics.
8 minutes 40 seconds into the flight, we have a nominal main engine cutoff.
That's the engine falling back to Earth.
On the way to swing around the moon. Core stage has separated, done its job. The Space Launch System upper stage, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, or ICPS, still attached to the
Yeah,
Orion
so it's
spacecraft.
just the capsule now. And it's just going to eject gas to move using
9 minutes
regular
of mission elapsed
physics.
time. Integrity crew of Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen now
They have a
around
Jew
the
on
Earth
board.
at the beginning of their journey to the moon.
And a Canadian, apparently. No, it looks phallic. It's appropriate, I guess.
Numbers so far per the pad.
This animation isn't particularly helpful. Oh, there's going to be solar wings? Really? Well, we're not going to see anything else real, I don't think.
Now reminding the crew that the perigee raise maneuver time of ignition is as expected prior to booster ignition. That time being 49 minutes, 50 seconds of mission elapsed time.
Well, we're not going to stay tuned in for that long, sir. 10 minutes is pretty good. All right. You guys had it. There we go. We did it. Knockfight says it looks like a butt plug. Yeah, it does look more like a butt plug. Yeah, that's true. Kind of looks like a big butt plug. That's true. All right, cool. That's exciting. Yay, America. Yay. Are we going to get pictures from the moon or live streams or anything? We got to make phone calls to the moon like we did last time? That'd be funny. We had like live TV cameras on the moon. 1969 technology.
Neds deploy. Copy that, Stan. Good, Neds.
Do they have internet out there?
And Integrity Houston for PWD setup. Just a reminder, halfway open on the secondary.
Okay. It's just a diagram. Okay. Yay. Congratulations. Go America. We launched a rocket. Okay. Let's go back to the news about Iran, if that's okay. Everybody seen enough? If anybody hasn't seen enough, like object really loudly. But otherwise, I'm going back to the news. Okay. So I said Trump sent out that tweet. He said he's going to bomb them into the Stone Age. If they don't, they asked for a ceasefire again. He's demanding that if they open the Strait of Hormuz, he'll consider a ceasefire. Here, White House put out the objectives again, which are different than the objectives that they're different from the objectives that Rubio put out yesterday. Yesterday put out the objectives, and every time they're like, these have been our objectives since the very beginning, and then they're totally different. We never mentioned in the beginning that our objective was to annihilate their Navy or Air Force, but now those are objectives. The Air Force isn't on here this time. So here's our objectives: destroy Iran's missile arsenal, annihilate their Navy, destroy terrorist proxies. Totally brand new objective, was never an objective before. Our objective was to stop them from funding their terrorist proxies. So this is totally weird. I don't know if that means we have to attack the Houthis and Hezbollah or what. Destroy terrorist proxies, it says. Ensure Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. Okay, well, let's say those are our objectives. Destroy Iran's missile arsenal, which Trump is going to say we've achieved them, I guess, tonight. As long as they keep launching missiles every day, how are we going to say that we've destroyed their missile arsenal? I'm just curious. If when we want to leave in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like Trump is going to say tonight that we're going to be done in 2 or 3 weeks, if they're still launching missiles every single day, 2 or 3 weeks from now, then how do we leave and say we destroyed Iran's missile arsenal, which we've said a million times that we've done it, but they keep launching missiles. They keep launching drones. Annihilate their Navy. We've gotten rid of the big boats that we could see, but there's still a bunch of little boats that can drop mines, and Trump admits that. So annihilate their Navy. Okay, we can say we did that. We sank a bunch of their big boats, which was theoretically so they couldn't close the Strait of Hormuz with their Navy. Let's see how that worked out. Destroy terrorist proxies. Obviously, we haven't done that. We haven't stopped them from funding their proxies either, so no idea. Ensure Iran can never obtain a nuclear weapon. We're not even close. Never, and never is the operative word. Never. How are we going to do that? How would we ever do that? We didn't change the government. Although that's Trump's newest claim, is that regime change has occurred. So we are claiming now that we achieved regime change and that we have this new president who's super reasonable. But how are we planning to ensure Iran can never have a nuclear weapon? Trump keeps saying that we'll go bomb them later. That's what he's saying. He's like, oh, we'll just have to bomb them once in a while. We'll just keep an eye on them with satellites. And we'll go in and bomb them every once in a while. And that's what Iran doesn't want. And that's why Iran's demands are no ceasefire. You have to promise you're never going to bomb us again. And, out of aggression, unless we bomb you first. So I have no idea. I don't know how Trump comes out of this with a win. I have no idea. So here's what Trump was talking about. Here he is talking about gas prices, and the plan to bring them back down. This is really good. Here he is talking about gas prices. I'll show you that. They're over $4 now nationwide.
The first one affects Americans' home gas prices. Today they hit $4.
We're $4, yeah, and we have a country that's not going to be throwing a nuclear weapon at us in 6 months.
But Americans are feeling the effects in the interim.
And they're also feeling a lot safer.
What is the plan to bring it back down?
All I have to do is leave Iran, and we'll be doing that very soon. And they'll become tumbling down. And stock prices were up today almost to a record because they know two things. Number one, we have a safe country. We had to take a little detour because we had a madman named Khomeini who sadly is no longer with us.
Okay. So here's where the delusion part comes in. He's like, we're safer, which we're not safer. But he says all he has to do, I don't know if he believes this or not, but this is what kind of the market believed, is that if we just leave, the market kind of believes, or obviously it did yesterday, that if we just leave, that's good enough. That's good enough. Even if the Strait of Hormuz stays closed. I don't know if people are smoking Cheerios or something. He says all he has to, but that's not true. The Strait of Hormuz has to open for gas prices to go down. It's not, we can't just leave and have gas prices go down. As long as they control the Strait of Hormuz, as long as the Strait of Hormuz remains largely closed, gas prices go up by definition. So he's insane. I don't know if he I have no idea if he believes that or not, but he says all we have to do is leave, then prices will come down. So here he is admitting that here, I'll play this.
Lunatics along the strait, but if they want something, but I would say that within 2 weeks, maybe 3, we're hitting them very hard. Last night we knocked out tremendous amounts of missile making facilities. We, as you probably read or wrote, we knocked out, excuse me?
Pardon me for interrupting. The U.S. will be gone or done with the war in
I think we're 2 or 3 weeks.
Not 3 weeks. If it is
We'll
3
leave
weeks,
because
then it
there's
would
no
be
reason for us to do this. Look, problem with
The Strait.
a guy can take a mine, drop it in the water, and say, "Oh, it's unsafe." It's not like you're taking out an army or you're taking out a country, or they can drop it, or you can take a machine gun from the shore and shoot a few bullets at a ship, or maybe an over-the-shoulder missile, small missiles. That's not for us. That'll be for France. That'll be for whoever's using the strait. But I think when we leave, probably that's all cleared up. Today, I heard tremendous numbers of ships were sailing through. We're negotiating with them right now. They've been, again, we have had regime change. Now, regime change was not one of the things I had as a goal. I had one goal. They will have no nuclear weapon. And that goal has been attained. They will not have nuclear weapons. But we're finishing the job. And I think within maybe 2 weeks, maybe a couple of days longer to do the job. But we want to knock out every single thing they have. Now, it's possible that we'll make a deal before that because we'll hit bridges.
Oh, he was going to say we're going to hit bridges too. Okay, that's good. Well, our plan is to attack civilian infrastructure and possibly commit war crimes before it's all over. He admits how hard it is. In this statement, he admits how impossible it is to open the Strait of Hormuz because, yeah, anybody could just they could at any point, which they haven't done so far, possibly, or they have possibly, who knows, lay landmines anytime. He's like, oh, France will deal with it. Why would France want to deal with it? Just curious. Or they could fire a rocket. Yeah, one guy with a shoulder-launched rocket from the shore. That's what it takes. One guy, one ship, once a month. Nobody goes through. Insurance rates are so insane right now. Nobody can afford the insurance. If they can't insure their ships, they won't go through. So why would they open the strait? They're making more money than before the war. They're accomplishing their objectives. It's crazy. He says how easy it is. Yeah, they could just lay mines. Yeah. Oh, I thought you destroyed their landmine ships. Well, you destroyed their landmine ships. Remember him bragging about that? We destroyed all those. Okay, well, how can they lay mines? Oh, because they just go out on little boats and just lay mines. It's not that hard. And then we can't go through. So he admits it. And then this is great. The Iran threatened U.S. companies. So here's Trump.
The government threatened a bunch of U.S. companies today in the region, including Google, Apple.
With what? What did they threaten them with? BB guns? Or
well, that's
they don't have much left to threaten.
My question for you is: are you?
I don't know. I mean, what are they? You made a statement. What did they threaten them with? I don't know. Tell me, how did they threaten them?
Well, all I know is that they threatened them, sir.
What does that mean?
Fair enough.
You said something nasty.
Is the government in touch with these companies? Are you helping to backstop them?
You don't even know what the threat was. What was the threat? I haven't heard it. What was the threat? Did they say they're going to blow them up? They're going to hit them. They're not. You know what they're not going to do? They're not going to hit them with a nuclear weapon.
Yeah. Is it something you're concerned about, sir?
No.
Iran's RGC issues a warning that they will target 18 U.S. technology companies if the U.S. continues targeted assassinations of Iranian leaders beginning on April 1st. Those companies include NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft.
Most of those people are dead already. Yeah, Peter?
I got one.
government threatened.
So anyway, they hit a building with a missile. I don't know why the guy doesn't say, probably with missiles and drones. I don't know why the guy didn't say that. It's not like they're not hitting things every day with missiles and drones. I don't know what Trump is smoking. He's like, oh, what are they going to hit him with? A BB gun? No, with missiles and drones. And they hit something with AWS servers in it yesterday with a missile. And then people are like, oh, Trump owns the media. That's what I saw somebody say. Oh, Trump owns the media. I don't know why the guy didn't just say, probably missiles and drones, sir, just like everything else they've been hitting. But who knows? All right. So Rubio felt like it was really important for him to come out and justify the war one more time, since everybody thinks Israel is the reason that we're doing this, because Israel wants to be a superpower. Rubio came out and made a statement to the nation about why we're there, just once and for all. So I'll play that.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States have to attack Iran now? Well, let me explain. Iran wants to have nuclear weapons. Of that, there is zero doubt. If what they truly wanted, which is what they claim, is nuclear energy, well, they could have nuclear energy like all the other countries in the world have it. And that is, you import the fuel and you build reactors above ground. That's not what Iran has done. They build their reactors and their facilities deep in mountains, away from the public glare. And they want to enrich that material. The same equipment that they could use to enrich material for energy, they could use to quickly enrich it to weapons grade. So it is clear that they've been offered every opportunity to have a nuclear program that allows them to have energy, not weapons. And every single time they have turned it down. But why the attack now? Well, what was Iran trying to do? Iran was trying to build a conventional shield, in essence, have so many missiles, have so many drones that no one could attack them. And they were well on their way. We were on the verge of an Iran that had so many missiles and so many drones that no one could do anything about their nuclear weapons program in the future. That was an intolerable risk. Under no circumstances can a country run by radical Shia clerics with an apocalyptic vision of the future ever possess nuclear weapons. And under no circumstances can they be allowed to hide and protect that program and their ambitions behind a shield of missiles and drones that no one can do anything about. This was our last best chance to eliminate that conventional threat, that conventional shield that they were trying to build. And the president made the right decision to wipe it out now. That is the goal of this operation, to destroy their conventional missiles and their drone program so they can't hide behind it and finally have to deal with the world seriously about never, ever having nuclear weapons.
Okay, so that's it. They said that, to be fair. It was often at the beginning they said that. So that's been often repeated. So more than the nuclear weapons program, because we haven't really bombed the nuclear weapons program, really. We don't necessarily plan to take the enriched uranium officially. We don't necessarily plan to decommission their reactors and stuff like that. It's all about the ballistic missiles program. Okay. It's all about the ballistic missiles program, because they were going to have too many ballistic missiles to be able to bomb them in the future without them striking back. Well, a few problems is, once again, like, if that's the goal, how do we leave if they're still launching missiles every day? I'm just curious. I don't know how we leave. If they're still launching 20 to 50 missiles every day like they have been for the last 3 weeks, how do we leave and say that we got rid of the ballistic missile program? I'm just curious. And then maybe they were already there. That's the thing. Maybe we were too late, because it seems like they're using the ballistic missiles and drones effectively now and seem to be able to effectively destroy the world economy, which they're well on their way to doing, using very unsophisticated equipment to just blow up a few ships here and there. And they're getting tolls for it, and they're killing the petrodollar at the same time. So if that was the reason, I understand, but how do we accomplish it? Because their missiles are underground. They have missile factories buried deep in mountains. Missile and drone factories buried deep in mountains. So how do we totally end that program? Even if somehow, which we've shown that which I believe by now we've shown we can't totally destroy all of their missile launchers, because we would have done it by now, I would think, having free reign of the skies, like we say we do. You would think that we would have taken out every single missile launcher by now if we could, and they launched the same number or more missiles every single day. And today was one of the worst days in Israel in weeks. Missile after missile after missile in Israel. Today was one of the worst, as reported by Israeli news. So I don't know if we can get out of there in 2 or 3 weeks. I just don't know. The Strait of Hormuz isn't going to be open. I don't know if we can leave without the Strait of Hormuz being open. I don't know if we can leave while they clearly demonstrate missile and drone capabilities, while they're still bombing our bases every day. I don't know how we leave. He always says 2 weeks anyways. He always says 2 weeks. So is it going to be in 2 weeks? Is it going to be another 2 weeks? Like, I just don't know. Right now, people are really pumped. You know, people think it's going to happen. And they think if we leave, somehow the price of oil is going to go down if we just declare victory. But I have no idea. I don't know how we declare victory. If we keep stating the objectives and we haven't accomplished the objectives, then how do we declare victory? I don't know. It seems very complicated. Trump is threatening NATO allies. Now he's really upset with NATO, threatening to withdraw, which he can't do, based on a bill Rubio passed. The Senate has to vote 2/3. 2/3 of the Senate has to agree to leave NATO, so it's never going to happen. He's threatening to stop sending weapons to Ukraine unless Europe comes in to help with Hormuz. I don't know what they're going to do. What does he think they're going to do? If we can't do it, what does he think our allies are going to do? If it's so weak, if NATO is a paper tiger, I have no idea what he thinks how it's going to help. Like, we have the biggest military on earth by far, bigger than everybody's put together. So what is it going to help? I have no idea. I don't know what he wants them to do, what the strategy is. Somebody is quoted saying he's playing 12D chess. A Trump administration official told Axios, this isn't 3D chess, it's 12-dimensional. He contradicts himself regularly, so nobody knows what he's thinking. It's on purpose. There, that's one for the boomers. The reason he's always contradicting himself and never seems to have a strategy is intentional. If the enemy doesn't know what you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, then neither will your enemy. That's a classic. Don Su, The Art of War, The Art of the Deal. If you don't know what you're doing, then neither will your enemy. 3D chess. He's doing 12-dimensional chess, apparently. He's contradicting himself on purpose. That's to confuse people, so nobody knows what he's doing. I love when people say he does stuff on purpose. I don't think he does. I love when people say that, but I don't think he does it on purpose. I think he does it because he's stupid. It has literally no plan, except like basic nonsense like threats. He's like, oh, I'll just threaten them, or we'll just kill them one by one, and they'll eventually submit. All right, here's what these foreigners are saying. Keir Starmer, very serious addresses to their country. So I'll play you Keir Starmer's very serious address. Trump's is coming up in 2 hours. Trump's address is coming up in 2 hours. He's going to say 2-3 weeks. We already won. And NATO sucks. That's what he's going to say.
The conflict in the Middle East has now entered a second month. And while we're working at pace for de-escalation and peace, it is now clear that the impact of this war will affect the future of our country. So today, I want to reassure the British people that no matter how fierce this storm, we are well placed to weather it, and that we have a long-term plan to emerge from it a stronger and more secure nation. First, let me say once again, this is not our war. We will not be drawn into the conflict. That is not in our national interest. And the most effective way we can support the cost of living in Britain is to push for de-escalation in the Middle East and a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, which is such a vital route for energy. To that end, we're exploring each and every diplomatic avenue that is available to us. The Foreign Secretary and the Chancellor have met their counterparts in the G7. The Defence Secretary has been in the Middle East speaking to our partners, and the UK has now brought together 35 nations around our statement of intent to push as one for maritime security across the Gulf. And today I can announce that later this week, the Foreign Secretary will host a meeting that brings those nations together for the first time, where we will assess all viable diplomatic and political measures that we can take to restore freedom of navigation, guarantee the safety of trapped ships and seafarers, and resume the movement of vital commodities. Following that meeting, we will also convene our military planners to look at how we can marshal our capabilities and make the strait accessible and safe after the fighting has stopped. Because I do have to level with people on this. This will not be easy. I spoke with relevant...
Okay. I wish I had the whole thing. I just have what people posted on Twitter. It will not be easy. They're going to try diplomacy once the fighting's over. So once we leave, they're going to try diplomacy. That's all they can do. And then Iran's going to tell them, okay, here's the deal. What Iran will say is, here's the deal. We'll open the strait once we get our demands met. That's what they've been saying. They've been very consistent. We'll open the strait once our demands are met. No sanctions, reparations, promise to never attack us again. Promise. In writing, international agreements, security agreements, that Israel and America can never attack them again without repercussions. Maybe that means that they sign a security alliance with somebody who says they'll fight back, or that Russia or China will give them advanced weapons. Like they could get S-300s or S-400s from Russia. You know, they could get more advanced weapons. They could get hypersonic cruise missiles to go after ships, etc. next time. They want control of the Strait of Hormuz. They want recognized sovereignty. And then, they'll open the Strait of Hormuz for everybody. But so it's going to be negotiations with Iran. Iran's going to say, well, you better talk to America and Israel and tell them, like, these are our demands and we'll open the strait. I'm guessing that's how it goes. We'll see. Until then, strait's closed for everybody except our friends. We're collecting payments in yuan. Petrodollar's dead. Gulf neighbors are dead. Monarchies are dead. If you fuck with us, we'll close the Red Sea. If you fuck with us, we'll bomb our neighbors. And we're serious, etc. Pretty simple. But he says he acknowledges it's going to be very difficult. Yeah, tell me about it. Here's what the Australian Prime Minister Albanese said.
My fellow Australians, by nature, we're an optimistic country, but I understand that right now it's hard to be positive. The war in the Middle East has caused the biggest spike in petrol and diesel prices in history. Australia is not an active participant in this war, but all Australians are paying higher prices because of it. I know that you're seeing this at the servo and at the supermarket, and I understand farmers and truckies, small businesses and families are doing it tough. And the reality is the economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months. Tonight, I want to speak directly with you about what the government is doing to shield Australia in these uncertain times, and also what all of us can do to help our country and help each other in the period ahead. On Monday, National Cabinet adopted the National Fuel Security Plan. Leaders from both sides of politics, from right around the country, working together to keep Australia moving, making sure that we are prepared so that if the global situation gets worse and our fuel supplies are seriously disrupted over the long term, we can coordinate the next steps together. Today, we cut the fuel excise in half, cutting the tax on every litre of petrol by 26 cents. Those savings have started showing up at your petrol station. For our truckies, we have cut the heavy vehicle road user charge to zero. Both these measures will be in place for the next 3 months. We are working to bring the price of fuel down, to make more fuel here and to keep it on shore and get more fuel here, using our strong trading relationships with our region to bring more petrol, diesel and fertiliser to Australia. Now, it's the Australian way that people want to do their bit. And there are simple ways that you can. You should go about your business and your life as normal. Enjoy your Easter. And if you're hitting the road, don't take more fuel than you need. Just fill up like you normally would. Think of others in your community, in the bush, and in critical industries. And over coming weeks, if you can switch to catching the train or bus or tram to work, do so. That builds our reserves and it saves fuel for people who have no choice but to drive. Farmers and miners and tradies who need diesel every single day. And all those shift workers and nurses who do so much for our country. The months ahead may not be easy. I want to be upfront about that. No government can promise to eliminate the pressures that this war is causing. I can promise we will do everything we can to protect Australia from the worst of it. These are uncertain times, but I'm absolutely certain of this. We will deal with these global challenges the Australian way, working together and looking after each other, as we always have. Thank you and good evening.
It's going to be Mad Max there pretty soon, which is like appropriate, right? Mel Gibson is Australian, right? Russell Crowe, is he Australian too? Well, he's basically saying it's going to be, he's not like Trump. Trump is like, oh no, it'll be over soon and prices will drop like a rock. Like he's bullshitting everybody full time. It'll be over in 2 or 3 weeks. Prices will drop like a rock, right back to where they were. These people know that it's going to be months, no matter what happens. You see everybody's warning their country that they're about to go through hard times, which Trump isn't doing. But it's coming here too. But I don't know if Trump's ever going to be serious. So Benjamin Netanyahu declared that Iran no longer poses an existential threat to Israel. That was today. But then also today, Channel 14, Israel Channel 14 said that Israel is now under the largest continuous Iranian attack since 3 weeks ago. Here's some video. This is supposedly leaked by the Chinese. This is supposedly real video. I don't know. Grok said it might be real. Apparently China leaked this video of what's happening to U.S. bases. I don't know if it's real. Could be AI. It looks pretty, I don't know. I have no idea. You guys decide. This is supposedly missiles hitting U.S. bases.
What's happening? Oh my God. Get cover! Everywhere! Oh. Jesus. Get down! Leveling the whole close! No, what's happening? Oh my God. Get cover! Everywhere! Oh. Jesus. Get down! Leveling the whole close!
Crazy, right? I don't know. Might be real. This video is real, though. This is and meanwhile, Trump is telling reporters, what are they going to shoot him with? BB guns? They don't have much left. What are they going to shoot him with? BB guns? Here's real footage. Iranian missile blowing up near U.S. troops.
Oh, there's. Oh.
Are y'all good? Everybody's good. Everybody over here is good. Yeah. Good. I saw that one come in. You guys all right? Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah. All right.
So that's real video of U.S. troops under fire. All right. I have, this is like, I don't know if we're going to have lockdowns anytime soon, but we might, because it's the issue is that there's not enough fuel to go around. There's not enough helium to go around. There's not enough fertilizer to go around. It's not just a question of price. It's literally a question of supply. And unless we cut our usage, then we're going to run out. That's why lockdowns are going to be happening more places than they already are, because we're going to be forced to conserve fuel to make up for the deficit. This is a video of like OPEC drilling, I guess. OPEC production. This is production is down 10 million barrels a day. That's 1/10 of daily supply, more than COVID. So that's a chart there. As long as we're looking at charts, the price of ground beef hits an all-time high. That's unrelated, I think. Price of ground beef hit an all-time high. So prices are still going up here in America too already. People are showing pictures of excavators moving to San Diego.
Looks like the military is gearing up for more,
which would be to get the uranium.
Iran.
So I told you guys they need, since the uranium is buried under tons of rubble, they'd need big excavators and stuff. So that's a picture of supposedly big excavators. Finally, this guy, I think he's a joker, is saying that aliens are real. Let's see. This is some Australian joker saying that aliens are real.
Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. It's true. There are aliens living amongst us. There are aliens in Area 51. There are even alien human hybrids. I have been briefed this morning in a top secret intelligence briefing that exposes all. Unfortunately, I am forbidden from speaking about it under pain of death. But know this, I will fight for accountability and I will fight for transparency. There is more to come. Stay tuned. Follow for more.
I don't know if Australians are just jokers. He's a senator, I guess, in Australia, but he's some kind of joker. So who the hell knows what he's talking about? More scandals keep coming out. The head of Border Patrol has been accused of traveling to Thailand and Colombia for sex tourism. So that's new. I just saw a story drop about the guy with the big boobs that was paying some model actress or whatever $25 a minute to talk to him on camera. And she recognized him. So scandal, 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 scandal. All right. Oh, I didn't promote. You can support the show with super chats as always, and by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I always forget to grift, because now that I have super chats enabled, I just expect them to just flow in like water. We didn't get any today, notably. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and skip the VIG that YouTube charges. And then you don't give 30% to YouTube, who doesn't do anything to deserve it except to host this wonderful show and their wonderful platform. You can also go to our t-shirt shop, truthclothing.io, and buy t-shirts for less than half price, for wholesale price, less than wholesale price, actually. Now the prices have gone up. $10 and $5 a shirt. Going to truthclothing.io. We have a bunch of Bitcoin shirts, crypto shirts, other shirts, question everything shirts. Somebody told me I'm wearing one of our shirts. When you wear our shirts, people will comment on them once in a while. I got a comment on my shirt today that says decentralized is no longer for sale. He was like, yeah, man. Like, that's what I keep saying. We got to decentralize. I was like, oh, cool, man. Why don't you buy a t-shirt from us? Or I didn't say that. Freedom of face, made in America shirts from the mask days with a smiley face. And then female styles, many female styles still in stock. The question everything, our most popular style, which you get the most comments on when you wear it in public. Question everything. All available on our website, truthclothing.io, $5 and $10, going out of business, liquidation sale. All right. LaRue says, I'm broke after getting fired for being anti-Semitic. Well, it was worth it then, right? Even if you're broke, it's worth it to get fired for being an anti-Semite. That's okay. I understand. I appreciate you guys for tuning in anyway. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys today. Try to be back every day. We'll try to be back every day. And I'll tune in for the speech tonight. Let's see if he says anything different. Once again, speech tonight. We're winning. We won. We've accomplished our objectives. 2-3 weeks. NATO sucks. That's what we have on tap for tonight. If it's different, like I said, tomorrow I'll apologize for not covering it live. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you. And we'll see you at the next one. For now, that's what it is.